Hello ladies and gentlemen. So at first I was actually doing another video on the whole feminist and the social justice warriors, but then this video surfaces and I thought, let me prioritize this video and speak about this subject while it is still fresh in people's minds. So as many of you know, Trump has recently made a statement and I thought it was very interesting, and you know what? I loved every single moment of it. The statement which he made against this mainstream media publication known as CNN, the crazy news network. I had to rewind it over and over again because it was that entertaining and it was that good, in my opinion, for that segment. So, before I go any further, the best thing to do, or the first thing I'm going to do, is play this news clip for you guys so that you all see this for yourselves. And there's going to be other videos as well that I'm going to play, but let's start with this one first, because this video will be the icebreaker. And then we're going to analyze everything.
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are
is
attacking
terrible.
our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give
is
us a
terrible.
chance
Let's
to ask
go.
a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can
Quiet.
you state,
Quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state
She's asking
categorically,
a question.
Mr.
Don't be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No, I'm
give
not
us a
going to give you a
question?
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not
Go ahead.
appropriate.
By now, many of you who have seen this video, there's a good chance you had the exact same similar reaction as I did, where you probably clapped your hand and you were laughing because Donald Trump did say the truth. He did call CNN out. He did call them out for being fake news. He didn't even hesitate to mention that. Also, prior to election night, Donald Trump did raise lots of issues with regards to mainstream media lies. And he also raised some issues about the rigged election. And he also made claims and statements that if he becomes president, he is going to have Hillary Clinton arrested and be trialed and thrown in prison. These are all things that actually gave confidence to the American people so that they can be able to see that, okay, you know what? Let's be honest. Donald Trump, he is actually saying that mainstream media has been feeding us with lies and propaganda. We believe, we know that we've been cheated many times, but none of the politicians ever had the audacity to be able to make such bold statement. However, here comes Donald Trump, who wants to make America great again, and he is actually calling out mainstream media, and he is calling them out for a whole bunch of lies and for propaganda. All of these things helped win the confidence of the majority of the American people. This is why Hillary Clinton was left in the dirt and she stood zero chance, not a single chance at winning, which definitely was good news because I definitely would not want to see another Clinton saga. I'm going to raise some questions and I want you to think carefully. Think carefully. And also, make careful note. At the end of this video, I'm going to conclude with a question. For now, I'm going to raise a question. Is Donald Trump genuine about his hatred towards mainstream media and towards the politicians? And even when he said over and over again that Hillary Clinton deserves to be in prison, was he genuine about all of this? And is he consistent with all of it? Well, let's look at all of these and let's see if President-elect Donald Trump passes the test. And for the hardcore Trump fans, I'm not putting words in Trump's mouth. I'm not creating anything against him. I'm simply letting him speak with his own mouth. And I want you to be the one to be the judge at the end of the day. You be the judge. Now, moving forward, Trump made so many promises that won the hearts of the American people. The main thing that caused people to jump on board was when he pointed out the injustice within Washington, D.C. And because he is coming in as an outsider, as one who was not a politician, but has jumped in on board to run for presidency. When he pointed out the corruption of Washington, D.C., many people rallied behind him. What am I talking about? Listen to the following.
With the American voter begins with a plan to end the rampant government corruption and put the special interests out of business. We're going to do it. I understand it. I understand it. I understand it very well. I want everyone in Washington to hear and to heed the words that we all say together. If we win on November 8th, we are going to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C. We're draining the swamp. It is time to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C. This is why I'm proposing a package of ethics reforms to make our government honest once again. We are going to drain the swamp.
You heard it for yourselves. This is Donald Trump running for presidency, and he made the promise to the people that he is going to drain the swamp and he's going to clean out Washington, D.C., clear out all the corruption. You've heard all these policies which he outlined. However, this was all before the election. He even made that, again, he made that same promise the day before election night. And we all know what happened. Donald Trump won the election by majority vote. And after he won, we asked the question, did anything change? If so, what exactly changed? Well, the first thing, after winning the election, on his thank you tour, this is what Donald Trump has to say about the exact same promise which he made, and he guaranteed his followers that he is going to keep. Listen to the following.
We're going to drain the swamp of corruption. Funny how that term caught on, isn't it? I tell everyone, I hated it. Somebody said, drain the swamp. I said, oh, that's so hokey. That is so terrible. I said, all right, I'll try it. So like a month ago, I said, drain the swamp. The place went crazy. I said, whoa, what's this? Then I said it again. Then I started saying it like I meant it, right? It again. Then I started saying it like I meant it, right? Then I started saying it like I meant it, right? And then I said it, I started loving it. And the place loved it. It's drain the swamp. I mean, it's true. It's true. It's true. Drain the swamp. And the place loved it. It's drain the swamp. I mean, it's true. It's true. It's true. Drain the swamp.
Question. Did I put any words in Trump's mouth thus far? No. He spoke with his own lips. This is Trump simply telling the truth like it is. Most politicians would simply remain silent. However, Trump simply just told the truth how it is. And you can tell just the vibe alone during this speech that he was making. The vibe and the mood surrounding or circulating the crowd became that of a confused crowd. It was almost as if the people didn't know, well, should I be clapping my hands? What should I be doing? What's going on? Did I just hear what I thought I heard Donald Trump just say? Is he serious about it? Please tell me this is not true. Did he just admit before me, before my ears, that he did not mean anything that he was saying, his promise? Just listen one more time to this part where Donald Trump is even mocking his own promise.
And the place loved it. It's drain the swamp. I mean, it's true. It's true. It's true. Drain the swamp.
You can just tell by that statement alone. He's basically saying, yeah, so true. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, drain the swamp. It's a mockery of his own promise. Again, please, ladies and gentlemen, this video is not here to destroy anything about Trump, and my goal is not to change your opinion about him, but simply the premise of what I'm trying to get you to do is think, because a human being can break his or her promise anytime. And of course, we've all seen these slogans. Hillary for prison. Trump spoke over and over again how Hillary Clinton needs to be trialed and how Hillary Clinton needs to be thrown in prison, and how if he becomes elected as president, he is going to have her arrested and basically trialed and also thrown in prison. That got many people rallying behind him like a flock. A swarm of people flocked and followed him. Now that he got elected as president, what does he have to say about this? Just as the headline here reads, that's exactly what happens. Hillary for prison crew turns on Donald Trump. These are the people who believed every word of Donald Trump, and they definitely were pro-Hillary for prison, so they wanted her jailed, thrown in prison. First paragraph. President-elect Donald Trump signaled he would break one of his most authoritarian campaign promises, his vow to do everything he could to jail his political rival, Hillary Clinton. And I quote, "It's just not something that I feel very strongly about," end quote. Trump told reporters and columnists at the New York Times Tuesday afternoon. Again, he proceeds to say, "I don't want to hurt the Clintons. I really don't. She went through a lot and suffered greatly in many different ways." Now I'm going to pause right here and I'm going to ask you a question, a direct question, and I want you to only think carefully about this question which I'm raising for you. Trump is a very intelligent man. I don't think that he is willing to do anything without knowing the repercussions, unless if he meant for it to happen. Question: is it not interesting how Trump just got elected as president and right away he begins to make himself look vulnerable by opening Pandora's box, by telling the truth that he didn't mean what he was saying, and by changing or going back on his word? Most politicians would simply carry out those promises all throughout even their presidency. In fact, did you know Obama carried the same promise that he made in 2008? And in 2012, he made the exact same promises again. These people don't keep their promises, but they don't expose their lies and tell it in front of the people just like that. Now, thus far, I did not put any words in Trump's mouth. These are simply the words which he spoke with his own lips, not me. Also, we see that right now the Republican Party is not yet deciding or coming together. The GOP is struggling with regards to what do they replace the Obamacare with. This is definitely a big one. We're going to have to step aside and watch and see what happens. Also, a wise note for all of you to take into account is this: one government policy always leads to something else. Everything is intertwined together. They're all linked together. It's almost like a chain reaction. One government policy is always going to open the door for another. For example, people may complain that they want higher wages. Well, when you raise the wages, the standard of living is going to go up. Your rent money, your housing bills go up. Next thing you're going to hear people say is they want affordable housing. Okay, but somebody's going to have to pay for that. So what does that mean? It means more taxes and higher taxation even upon the industries. That's also going to drive them out, which means you're going to go back to the exact same cycle. So when you see these politicians coming to you and they promise you this and they promise you that, they promise tax cuts here and tax cuts there, what many people fail to see is that one policy is going to lead to another and it's going to affect the people. It's the exact same issues, exact same promises, just being promised to you from one political party to another. And many people have been dancing with these. People have been dancing with these same promises over and over and over again. They have been lied to over and over and over again. From the beginning, from its infancy, the United States of America, the political parties were always promising the exact same thing. Here we are in 2017. When we look at the nation itself, we can clearly see something's wrong. The nation is collapsing. Final point: is Donald Trump truthful and sincere about his hatred towards the media? Well, let's have a look. Ever since Donald Trump came on the scene, he came on the scene as an outcast, or as an outsider, should I say. And he displayed characters that would directly play in and rally the American people behind him. And that character was that of an anti-government establishment. He came as a conspiracy theorist. Also, he displayed an anti-mainstream media personality who was against propaganda, and he pretty much pointed out all the things which the conspiracy theorists were talking about before, and he came in as someone who was completely on the side of the American people. That's what we saw. Now here's what I'm going to suggest. When we examine how Donald Trump was speaking when he was doing his Trump rallies or his campaigns, he had a very powerful voice. Even when he made those promises about draining the swamp in Washington, D.C., laying out all those policies, those plans which he was talking about, he sounded very serious. He seemed very serious and very legitimate about those promises and those claims. But now we know, out of Trump's own lips, he spoke saying he didn't mean it. He spoke like he believed it. He started speaking like he meant it, which means he never meant anything, which should raise the alert level high. If he was able to pretend like that and speak so confidently in his words, yet not mean a single bit of it, the question is, was this entire thing legitimate from the very beginning, or was it an act? You answer that question. Secondly, if the legitimacy of his stand is questioned there, what does that mean about the legitimacy of what he is presenting thus far of his hatred towards the media? Can we fully believe and trust Donald Trump is truly against the media, or is this just another act? Again, you are responsible for answering this question. Also, make note, Freemasons under the wings of the Jesuit order run the country. They've always run it from the very beginning, from its infancy, and they will be the ones to run it until the end. The question is, do you think they would allow someone who is not affiliated with them, or someone who is against them, do you think they would give that person a chance to run for presidency and open the door for that individual? You can be the one to answer that question. And what I noticed happening is people are all saying Trump is the savior of America. Let's just step aside and let's see what's going to take place. But thus far, I have raised questions, which means you have a responsibility to pay attention to everything that takes place within the political world, and you have every reason to pay attention to everything, because everything that's taking place right now in the world, and especially in America, is going to affect you. Doesn't matter what country you're in, it's going to affect you. So ladies and gentlemen, as much as I love the video of how Trump is reacting to mainstream media and calling CNN fake news, I'm going to step on the side and ask the question, what if this is exactly what they want us to see and to believe? Think carefully before you jump on the bandwagon of those that say, here is our savior, here is the savior of the United States of America. Anyways, I would love to chit chat some more on this, but ladies and gentlemen, this video has raised questions for you to think carefully. I'm not going to hold you off any further than this. Thank you for tuning in. This is The Controversy 7. If this is your first time tuning in, be sure to subscribe. There's a lot of information coming across your way. Feel free to go to my website, www.thecontroversy7.ca, or you can also join me on Facebook. My links are in the description box. You can feel free to send me a friend request, or you can follow me, or you can go on my fan page. Other than that, you take care of yourselves, be safe, and I'll see you guys next time.